If you are a big of a NASCAR fan like I am, this past weekend was very exciting, very eventful, and there's a whole lot more you can say about it. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series was out at IRP Raceway, where we saw the 98 truck of Ty Majeski schooling the field. Saturday rolls around, Xfinity's in action, and we see the 19 of Ty Gibbs go to victory lane. Sunday rolls around, the 34 car of Michael McDowell goes to victory lane. There are many hot takes I have from this past weekend, which I will talk more about in today's video. But I'm also here today to give y'all my full-on predictions for this Sunday's NASCAR Cup Series race out at the Watkins Glen Raceway. It's going to be the second to last race of the regular season. You best believe a lot of drivers are going to be antsy. They're going to make bold moves. And we can also see another driver lock himself into the playoffs, if not two. So there's a lot to talk about here today, so stay tuned for that. I'm also doing a Pick 5 contest, so get your picks down below. Enough said here, and on to the intro we go.
I'm Chase Briscoe, driver number 14 Ford Mustang for Stewart Haas Racing, and you're watching William Blackwell on YouTube.
So let's just start on Friday and work our way up to Sunday's big race. On Friday, we had the Craftsman Truck Series in action right across the street at IRP, and the big headline of the truck race was being, for one, it's a playoff race, but two, we got a guy by the name of SVG Shane Van Gisbergen racing in this race on his first oval race in NASCAR. He did it well. We didn't really expect him to go out there and win by any means, but he did get a solid top 20, and that right there was pretty much the goal from the start. Finish the race, get a top 20, we'll come along with it. So that's what happened, and Ty Majeski just whipped the field. There's no other way about it, and I like his chances to win the championship this year. The only people I can think that can stop him are Ben Rhodes and Zane Smith. And besides that, it's going to be very one lopsided battle. Then Saturday rolls around. The NASCAR Cup Series qualifying and practice was not even on TV nor Peacock. It was on the NBC app, and I got a lot of opinions about that, and I'm going to go on a rant here about it. Peacock is a streaming service NBC offers, and there's sports on it 24/7. Why are they not showing NASCAR? And I get that Fox is 50-50 on the big channel and small channel, but they at least show qualifying and practice. They do that. NBC is failing to do that. And NBC is getting worse and worse by the year. And I believe this new TV contract that's going to be big time here in the coming months, and that's going to be decided in the coming months, is going to be a very eventful one, because I believe NBC is going to have a very bad end of it because of the stuff they've been doing lately. Whenever they post out a schedule for TV and stuff like that, it's never accurate. There's something always wrong because it's always changing fluently. And Fox is not that bad. Fox, they got the luxury of going from the main channel, FS1, FS2, and the Fox Sports Go app, but it hardly ever goes to that destination. NBC, though, has USA Network, and after that Peacock, and they go to the service. They're just too inconsistent, and I'm not liking it. And the best way to put it about it, the NBC Sports app is just like a quarterback coach for Tom Brady. Very pointless, if you will. But enough said there about my rant. So Saturday morning, we missed qualifying and practice for Cup. Later on in the afternoon, we saw an Xfinity race where we started off in dry conditions and rain came, which also brought lightning. And we had like a 43-minute and 15-second delay. I'm trying to remember the exact time from Bob Pockra's Twitter post. But we had a big delay, and we saw AJ Allmendinger just pretty much lead. And the next thing you know, Ty Gibbs takes over and wins the race. So Ty Gibbs wins his first Xfinity race since his big championship win a year ago out in Phoenix. So a pretty long time in between wins for Ty Gibbs, which he's pretty not used to. He's used to winning and going to victory lane. And then fast forward to Sunday. This is the first time a lot of us are seeing Cup cars on track because of the Saturday shenanigans from NBC. And we're seeing the 34 car of Michael McDowell just pretty much dominate and school the field. Daniel Suarez was on pole. He was leading majority of the race. And he had that one mishap on pit road, which costed him a ton of time. I believe it was like 8 or 9 seconds, and he made it up In the course of that final run, the final stint, if you will, he made up 3 seconds. He was down only 6. And if that did not happen, he would have easily won the race. But you know what? He didn't. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. And Michael McDowell found himself in victory lane. And he's now in the playoffs. And the playoffs are now just getting more and more interesting by the week because Chase Elliott, even though we finished runner-up in today's race, he had a good day. He had a lot of stage points. Didn't really mean a damn thing at all. Because Michael McDowell won, and that pretty much eliminates the Ty Gibbs at the time, who was on the bubble in 16th. Pushed him back, and it pushed back Bubba Wallace, who was 55 above Gibbs. And that makes now Elliott just 80 points behind roughly. I'll take a look at it in a minute, but he's still so far back. He's just over a race out. So he has to do good this weekend if he's wanting to point his way in, gain at least 40. Not likely, but Daytona very likely. So if he can at least gain 20, though, to keep him in one race distance of pointing his way in, he can still do it. I believe, though, he has to just go out there and win the race. But Chase Elliott fans, I am here. I'm putting my hand out there like I did last week. I'm going to hold your hand and walk you through this treacherous time. What he did out in Charlotte costed him. It costed him a playoff spot because I don't see him pointing his way in. He may win. He very well may win this Sunday. I don't believe so. Kind of giving a hint. Daytona, a lot of unknowns. So that one incident in Charlotte is going to cost him a playoff spot, in my opinion. Because over the Racing Gateway, a track he did decent at last year, he could at least gain 30 points. That 30 points is going to make it 50 heading into Watkins Glen. So a couple of good points here and there in Daytona, he could have pointed his way in. So Chase Elliott, that stupid decision you made out in Charlotte wrecking Denny Hamlin, the 11 car, that costed you a playoff berth. Not your speed, not feeling sorry for yourself, not got the little incident in the mountains. That cost you. Charlotte did. And I just believe that was selfish, and his team is going to be on the bad end of it, as Alex Bowman, I believe, will also miss the playoffs. So 2 HMS cars in, 2 out. And I also got a lot of things to say about the snowboarding incident, which I'll keep to myself. But Chase Elliott was frustrated that lap traffic was racing each other and going for a position. So after the race, he took it upon himself to talk to Mike Rockenfeller, the 70, or not 77, he drove the 77 last year, but he drove the 42 car this weekend, and he was frustrated at him for not moving out the way. He's racing for a position. What do you expect him to do? Come on now. He's a hypocrite. Chase Elliott, though, sore loser. But now let's take a look at the point standings. So the point standings right now are very interesting. They have changed a whole lot over the course of one weekend. And right now in 15th place, we got the 6 car of Brad Keselowski. If there is no new winner this weekend, both him and Kevin Harvick are going to be locked into the playoffs. But for right now, though, they're both in the mix because they're just 2 points from each other. And if we see 2 new winners, the lowest one of the 2 is going to be out of the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting there. But Keselowski plus 143, he's in no threat at all to losing his way from someone else pointing their way in. Bubba Wallace in 16th place, plus 28, had a terrible day. Was not really in the mix at all, but it's a road course. You really don't expect much from him. 17th place, Daniel Suarez, had a great day. Minus 28. He didn't really do much at all when it comes to points. He has to win a race, in my opinion. Ty Gibbs in the 54 was in 16th place heading in today. Filming this on a Sunday night. Minus 49. He's the biggest loser of the weekend. Chase Elliott heading into the race today on 20th place, now in 19th, minus 80. Has to win, in my opinion. So the points, Keselowski and Harvick are going to fight their own battle. More than likely, they're both going to be in. 16th place is going to be something you do not want to be in heading into Daytona. Next weekend, we're going to have a special about it, about the drivers who can win and cannot win. And it's going to be very interesting. But enough said here. Let's head into Watkins Glen, which I've been hyping up over the course of the last few minutes on my pick. So let's take a look at it. So over the course of the video, I've been hinting that we're going to see the same repeat winner win this weekend in Watkins Glen. And no, it's not going to be Chase Elliott. He did not win a race at all this year, so Chase Elliott fans don't get too mad at me. Speaking the facts, something a lot of fans refuse to listen to. But the winner this weekend in Watkins Glen is going to be the 19 car of Martin Truex Jr. Martin Truex Jr. is on a tear right now in the Cup Series. This past weekend in Indianapolis was a slight hiccup, but he was still up there in the mix for a top 10. So Martin Truex Jr. is going to go out this weekend and win the Watkins Glen. A home race for him also. Second place is going to be the 99 car of Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez, when he drove for his old team of Joe Gibbs Racing back in the day in the 19 car before Martin Truex Jr. was a thing with them, he was competitive here at Watkins Glen. He won a stage, if I'm not mistaken. So he has what it takes to be good and competitive here. And Trackhouse Racing is obviously good at road courses. So just putting 2 and 2 together, he's going to be in the mix. And I believe second place is going to be on the table for him. So there you go there. Third place is pretty much a slam dunk at this point. Throwing it up and I'm just slamming it down. Michael McDowell, a great road course racer. He won this past weekend in Indianapolis. The first win since the 2021 Daytona 500. He's a great road course racer. His best road course is Watkins Glen. So if he's winning at considerably, or from his crew chief saying Indianapolis was his first one, his best one's Watkins Glen. So what's he going to do this weekend? Does he go out there and win back-to-back Cup races? Very unlikely, but there's a chance of it. So I would never count out Michael McDowell, but I just believe there's too much better cars out there at the Glen. The Glen is much more complex than Indianapolis is. Indianapolis, you can see a couple of few drivers in the mix that you typically don't see at a road course. For instance, I like Chase Briscoe, but he's terrible at Sonoma, Watkins Glen, the Roval, and so on. Indianapolis is his best road course. There's no ifs and buts. So it's a different track, so we'll see how things go there from Michael McDowell. I'm expecting a lot from him, at least the top 5. Fourth place is going to be the 5 car of Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson right now is starting to heat up when it comes to PR. He's winning all these races. He won the Knoxville Nationals this past weekend. He also unveiled his 2024 Coke 600 and Indianapolis 500 paint schemes and liveries. So he's got a lot of things going for him right now, a lot of hype, if you will, from the media. And he's going to want to head into the playoffs with some momentum. And Daytona has not been too nice for him. So if he's going to want to build up some momentum, he's going to have a good outing in Watkins Glen, a track he's won at in the past. So fourth place for him is very likely, in my opinion. Fifth place here. I know I'm going to catch a lot of heat. It's going to be the 9 car of Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott is good here in Watkins Glen. I'll go ahead and tell you that. I'm a big critic of him, but when it comes to the Glen, he's going to be up there. But I believe Martin Truex Jr. and the Toyotas are going to be much quicker. My dark horse is going to be the 6 car of Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski has been good here. He's been hit or miss here in the past. Had his one chance of winning back in 11 against Marcus Ambrose, who eventually beat him to the line. But there you go. Martin Truex Jr. wins yet again in 2023. Daniel Suarez runner-up. I have a solid points day for him. And I believe with that solid runner-up, he's going to be in on points. But he's still got Daytona. Very uncomfortable feeling. And Keselowski, with Truex winning, and him and Harvick are both going to be locked in. So enough said there. Third place, Michael McDowell. Fourth place, the 5 car Kyle Larson. And fifth place, Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott, you're not going to win Watkins Glen. You're going to have to head to Daytona in a must-win situation. Good luck. Enough said here. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.